Look who's enjoying his new hammock there. Yeah, sitting in the sun, enjoying the heat, right? Despite it being quite cold outside. So the kids aren't showing me that this is actually graffiti blood, so no harm done to nobody, I guess. Yeah. It's really beautiful weather, but still cold, like 4 to 5 degrees centigrade. The nice freezing temperatures here. So, talking about Weather Channel once more. So yesterday I was watching a video from a German influencer, and he was like, China's probably, or like he had this idea that maybe China would use this current situation to get into Taiwan. And I was like for a moment, or I forgot, for several hours I was like in a situation where I really felt like, we tree is here now. So that was it was like that's my wife grew up in Brazil. She was much more concerned, and I was like, when you grew up in the 80s with I was a child, but yeah, like even as a child we had this, or as children, like with 6, 7, 8 years, we knew that if the war got warm, it would get really, really comfy in our region, and we would probably only get like the first 1.5 seconds of the whole thing, because the nukes were right. We're aiming right where our house was. So, and that was like something you had constantly on your mind, I guess. Or like it was something you had like in the back of your mind, and yeah. So it's not as terrifying a prospect if you're used to it, but like yesterday I kind of got it, like I had the feeling that that could really escalate and get change the tidings, the whole situation, the whole world order, so to say. It was like feeling like somebody in 1939, late 30s. Yeah, really being glad that Chamberlain appeased Hitler successfully or something. So that was like the feeling I had there for a couple of hours, and it really brought me down a couple of notches. Today I'm more in a mood where I think that I have the hope that China actually uses the situation to maybe be a peace broker. I think the Chinese are actually, we are constantly underestimating those guys, and they're actually usually quite good at negotiations, business-wise and such. So that's something we do not really recognize in the West very much, I guess. But that's like a role China could play. On the other hand, the Chinese government under Winnie the Pooh has been quite nationalistic, quite xenophobic, and like half a year ago, nobody would have believed that Putin is the madman he turns out to be. Nehmt die Sachen einzeln, nicht alles auf einmal. Nehmt mal den Saft daraus. Kids trying to get the shopping stuff up, and quite heavy. So I probably have to help there in a second to throw out the waste paper. Yeah, so that was a feeling, and like another thing I had on my mind. Actually, that was actually already last week. That was like my son was telling me, the Russians are evil and they're very evil people, and I think that's very important that we don't fall into this trap to see the Russian people as evil. The Russian leadership is certainly very, very evil at this moment, and not quite sure if we can blame Putin 100%, but yeah, he certainly the main responsible person there. And yeah, at the moment it's really hard to tell. Is he mad? Is he playing the madman to make the West consider and pull back? But yeah, it's actually, I think like Putin, if he had died 2 weeks ago, he would have gone into the annals of the history as one of the great leaders of Russia. Maybe really somewhere around the top, I guess. Maybe he would have been, I would say, certainly one of the top 5 Russian political leaders in the since Russia exists. It's just like 300 years. Yeah, it's like 1726, I think. So, and now he's probably up there right behind Stalin on the worst list. We're getting there. Yeah, getting worse and worse. I think like, and I think what I wanted to say is it's not the Russian people, and actually I think the Russian people themselves are probably the ones which hopefully will bring us out of the situation. Us and themselves. That's my big hope here. But I have big hope that Putin would draw back and don't try to be a little Hitlerish, as we say. Yeah, big hope there as well. So who knows? We're used to disappointments, right? Yeah, but my big hope is that the Russian people actually can ask Putin form a stable government, resolve all their post-Soviet border friction stuff, because the Ukraine is by far not the only thing going wrong in that direction. It's just the biggest one so far. And I think this is like Russia has not really arrived in the post-Soviet era, and the whole Ukraine war is just it's turned around. It's actually my sports thing. I went to Wing Chun yesterday and I have a terrible muscle pain in my arm. That's like more the joint or something. I'm really getting old. Yeah, the whole Ukraine war is actually it's part of a attempt to restore the Soviet Union, at least in part, or like Greater Russia, like with Belarus and Ukraine becoming part of the Russian Federation. And I think like there's speculation that like Putin is very sick and maybe will die soon. And I could imagine that like, or for many people it's like, yeah, he wanted to make a legacy for himself. He wanted to gift the Russian people and history this new state. But probably he wanted it too much and with an absolutely wrong tactic. I think everything he has done in the last 10 years or so has alienated all his neighbors, almost all. Also, there were very little talk about the almost revolution in Kazakhstan, right? Barely went right under the radar, but it's not so long ago, like just a couple of months, when they had like and Belarus had similar problems like 2 years ago. So when they had their fraudulent election there, and people wouldn't hear of it. So yeah, it's really a question of the whole post-Soviet card house is going tumbling down. Yeah, but hopefully there will be this will result in a stable post-Soviet government finally, and because like if you have a fifth change of powers, then there would be no real need to pose the sanctions anymore. I guess reparation in Ukraine will be difficult, but with a change of government, it's probably possible if they give back if they retreat all troops, give back all the regions. Of course, with the guarantee of the Ukraine not killing or mishandling any people who want to stay, and allow everybody who wants to leave to go to Russia. And that's like, and then what's then? And then they have to probably give them gas for 20-30 years for free, but actually we are turning from that form of energy, so that's not really a good thing. So it's really hard to tell what they can actually do to undo the damage which are constantly done and still done. And yeah, it's actually in the weekly vlog, it's actually quite stupid to talk on day onto this topic when it's like still 4 more days to go where stuff couldn't happen and change. But yeah, the whole situation is it's like getting worse and worse, especially like for the Russians to have a chance to opt out. And it's like in Germany we have very many people from Russians, and they're getting alienated as well and getting negative responses on the streets and stuff. And that's terrible development. And I guess we really have to empower the people who are not conformed. Like Russia has no independent media anymore. I think the last one closed down on the weekend. I'm forgetting the names, but the last radios and stuff which had been independent and talking openly about the war have been shut down. If you are reporting in Russia about the current, if you call it a war, this can lead to up to 15 years in prison there now. So that's just how crazy it is, I guess. And it's probably, it gives a pretty good idea, because I think Donald Trump is very much keen in he adores Putin, and they're probably very similar minded in a way. Just that Putin has a sliver more competence, I guess, personally. But they're both have these problems with having too many yes people around and nobody halfway critical or who could talk sense into them, and that's a big problem, I think. And Putin, on the other hand, but this is like when you have like leaders which are in power too long, and you see this in almost every country, that there's a huge decline at some point in their leadership ability. I think you could maybe argue for Queen Victoria, but I think at the time the government was, or the royal part of the government was actually already much more representative in the UK. So not really like if you would say, oh, Queen Elizabeth is too long in charge of England, but yeah, her direct power is very limited. Like, she has influence on the public's opinion, but she has theoretically power, but not in reality, or not. And England is strange because they are not. I think that they are more using traditions and good behavior instead of fixing it in laws, and that can be very interesting, but can also be very strange at times, like currently. Yeah, but enough babbling on today. Let's see how the situation develops. Hopefully there will be a fast solution, but really, I think with every day this goes on, the chance for a simple solution gets much more difficult, I guess, because all the civilians who die unnecessarily, all the damaged and destroyed infrastructure in Ukraine, which needs to be rebuilt at some point. Maybe the Russians didn't go all in with the air war because they were like, oh yeah, they want us here, and it's I think they had a feeling that they want to occupy the infrastructure and want to keep it, right? Ne? Like they bomb it all down, they have to rebuild it. There, it's maybe partially economic and like psychological that they say, oh yeah, that's our infrastructure, we want this, and it's part of our country, and that's maybe the reason they didn't hit like the energy plants and everything like on day one, like everybody did, and every other intervention war like Iraq, Kosovo, whatever. Nobody did it, or nobody ever did. It's like the stupidest and worst executed war ever, and war is terrible anyway. So could be like you could like say it's a really good thing for peace, because the people see how terrible war is and how very costful for the aggressor it can be, and how little you get out of it in the end. So maybe, but yeah, it's like, yeah, Russia went to Afghanistan, and you should have drawn your conclusions from there, I guess. It's like the stupidity and the lack of being able to learn from history in the human race is really astonishing. Really, it's like as if it never happened. So, like how can a country which like you could argue that Afghanistan broke the back of the Soviet Union in a way. It probably wasn't the only reason, but one big factor, I guess, for the Soviet Union breaking up in the end. And how can you forget that lesson? But yeah, America went to Afghanistan as well after the Russians and after Vietnam. So yeah, it's probably, yeah, you have to try it a couple of times running through that wall. Who knows? Just a broken nose. Let's try once more. Yeah, humanity. Really losing hope for us. Yeah. See you then. Well, certainly was worth putting it on, right? It's not as bad as the other days, I guess. Of course, the days you have less ice. You have been prepared more. Yeah. The famous toast Hawaii. It's like a culinary and cultural crime against humanity, but it's very tasty. It's like a mini pineapple pizza, just without any pizza part on it. So it's time to make an end. Yeah, I'm really annoyed with this hair, and I'm going to shave it off all. And yeah, I want to try this for a while. The thing is that my skin is so sensitive that whenever I touch it with a blade, and even with some electric shavers, I get like what's it called, like razor marks, and yeah, and it's really uncomfortable. But I got myself this cheap knockoff from the Philips One blade thingy, and already cut myself quite a lot with it because I used it wrongly. But yeah, that's the thing where I think that I, it's like hair has been an annoyance in my life for quite a while, and yeah, like cutting it like to 2-3 millimeters does not look very good. That was what I was doing most of the time on my own, and now I'm trying to remove it all. And like, yeah, I am balding here, and I really don't care. Like some people try to mock me for that, but for me, it's really hair is an annoyance in my life. It has been my whole life, and like yeah, probably old enough that I won't look like some neo-Nazi douchebag. Hopefully, if not, I'm wearing a hat all the time anyway. So who cares? It's like yeah. Let's see if I enjoy it, or if this is a horrible mistake I'll never repeat. The thing is, like I had this problem with sharp shaving marks. Like, it's called shaving burns or whatever. That was the one thing, and the other thing is that like being really bold and like shaving every couple of days is actually too high maintenance for me. But I like I was looking at the moment is even worse. So I'm getting rid of it. Actually, I like this like this little coloring here, like not shaving it totally. That actually is something I really like now. Probably I'll just leave it that way, I guess, instead of shaving it all the way down. Yeah. See, it's actually much easier than the previous attempts. Now what I have to do is to give my beard some, probably thin it out, make it a little bit shorter here, give it a little bit better contour, I guess. Remove a little bit below here. Yeah, that's something I'm going to do, I guess. Let's see how the transformation, but yeah, that's something I'm really happy. I think it's probably better this way because like it gives a little bit color in my overall very white face. This is not from shaving. This is where I bumped my head on the very ill-placed shelf down there, where we put like the baby protection thing on now. And I think my wife bumped that head here, and I bumped my arm there 2 days. So, yeah, really dangerous place, but now it's secure. Yeah, I'm quite happy with the results here. Let's see. Yeah. Let's see what the wife and kids have to say. Maybe a little bit more beard styling is necessary, but yeah, I like it so far. Let's see what the world says. So, the week is over, but the sun is here, so that's nice. Sadly, no real progress in any direction in the Ukraine, of course. Like, yeah, just emptied my head a little bit from everything. Sorry for everything I wanted to talk about. But in that case, it probably wasn't as important, I guess. So just catching the kids, of course, now on foot here. Because, yeah, we need to save a little bit of gasoline. Also, I found a heating gas, a natural gas bill. A quite high one. So, yeah, that's not really improving the whole situation. Yeah, really, yeah, it's like this feeling of having like two such enormous crises like the corona pandemic and the war in the Ukraine back on back. Oh, actually within each other. It's really hard. Like thinking like, okay, we went to 9/11, which was quite impactful and damaging to the world, I guess. But it's like I think we are now at the point where we probably have, or where most of the negative effects have been more or less undone, or probably not quite, but like the crazy time just after 9/11 when like every kind of freedom was in the US was limited, like worldwide, I guess, to a shocking degree. And you should also forget that like one of the major actors now, but also like Putin was really new in power when that happened. So it has all been more or less interconnected, I guess. But yeah, like actually I also went to rejuvenation or uniting of Germany. So that is also connected, I guess. But that was also a major thing. But like I think there we had much change for good in a way. That was not so much negative overall. Like maybe in some of the effects, there's just much blood on the ground here. So yes, first flowers are coming out here, but it's like I always say that like it's it's in the human nature to remember the good stuff a little bit more fondly. That's why it's always the good old days, right? And I think that's quite good because if you would be always on about the terrible stuff, then that would be quite negative. But yeah. I think like the last 20 years after 9/11 have been more or less, or we had like the feeling of certain feeling of stability. There had been the housing crisis and such. But comparatively, those events have been more or less minor. And I think like in the current situation, 9/11 does also look as an event and as direct consequences. I think that the aspect which always stood out for me was like the restriction of civil liberties worldwide. And this, of course, many people were killed and it was a tragedy. But like, if you look at numbers from the Corona pandemic or Ukraine, that looks quite normal now, which is really strange. But it's like that's the thing, that the Corona pandemic is still going on. Like in Germany, we're really now at the point where we all just want it to be over, and we are opening everything up, and our numbers are as high as they are everywhere. It's really surreal to a degree. Like the experts, I watch like children's news with my son this weekend. We have this famous biologist, Mr. Drosten, I'm not quite sure, from Berlin, and like a world leading expert on coronaviruses. And it was like he was like, yeah, will probably become something like a flu, something like a cold, but this will probably take like 2 to 3 years. And yeah, that was something where that kind of clicked a little bit in my head there. Yeah, to see, like we're opening up. I have to return to my workplace in April, and like I'm working with my company that they get me another client for 2 days a week. I'm working in another location so that I can support my family, or my kids can see me at least half the week. And that's something I'm actually looking forward to. Yeah, let's get the kids and enjoy the weekend.